What if I told you that most people trying to break into identity access management are focused on the wrong things? They're spending months studying certifications, memorizing acronyms, and watching endless cybersecurity videos. But when hiring managers interview IAM candidates, they're usually looking for these specific skills. And the crazy part, none of these require a computer science degree. As someone who works in IAM and helps people transition into cybersecurity, I've seen candidates with multiple certifications get rejected, while others with these 3 skills get hired. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 3 skills IAM jobs are looking for in 2026 and how you can start learning them today. Let's get into it. Skill 1. Identity lifecycle management. The first skill is understanding identity lifecycle management. This is the foundation of IAM. Think about every employee that joins a company. Someone gets hired, they need an email account, access to applications, VPN access, maybe Microsoft 365 access, maybe Salesforce, Workday, ServiceNow. Someone has to provision all of these accounts. Now imagine that employee changes jobs or changes departments. Their access needs to change. And when they leave the company, all of that access needs to be removed. That's identity lifecycle management. Joiners, movers, and leavers. If you've ever heard that term in an IAM interview, that's what they were talking about. Companies lose millions of dollars every year because former employees still have access to systems they shouldn't. Hiring managers want candidates who understand how identities are created, modified, and deprovisioned securely. How to learn it? Start researching. User provisioning, user deprovisioning, access reviews, role-based access control, and least privilege. Then explore IAM tool lists like Okta, Microsoft Entra, SailPoint Identity Security Cloud, and Savient. You don't need to master them all, just understand the lifecycle access. The second skill is access management. This is where IAM starts to become really interesting. Think about how many times you log in every day. Your email, your bank, Netflix, social media. At work, employees might have to log into 20, 30, or even up to 50 applications daily. Companies don't want users remembering 50 passwords. This is where IAM comes in. Hiring managers love candidates who understand single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, passwordless authentication, conditional access, and federation. You also hear protocols like SAML, OAuth 2.0, and OpenID Connect. Now, don't panic. You don't need to become an expert overnight, but you should understand what these protocols do. For example, SAML helps users access applications using one identity. OAuth allows applications to securely access resources without sharing passwords. OpenID Connect adds authentication on top of OAuth. When I interview IAM candidates, one of the first things I ask is, can you explain the single sign-on to a non-technical person? Because if you can't explain it simply, you probably don't understand it deeply enough. How to learn it. Create a free tenant in Microsoft Entra, experiment with multi-factor authentication, research conditional access policies, watch videos explaining SAML and OAuth, and focus on understanding concepts rather than memorizing definitions. The third skill is one of the most people ignore: automation, specifically PowerShell. This single skill can separate you from 90% of the IAM candidates. Let's say HR hires 50 employees. Would you rather manually create 50 accounts or run a script that creates them automatically in seconds? Most companies want the second option. Automation saves time, money, resources, and human error. That's why IAM engineers are increasingly expected to know the at least basic scripting. You don't need to be a software developer. You don't need to build enterprise applications, but you should know how to create users, disable users, export reports, query Active Directory, and automate repetitive tasks. A simple PowerShell script can save a company hundreds of hours per year, and hiring managers know that. Example, instead of manually checking user accounts, you can write a script that finds disabled users, stale accounts, expired passwords, or users without MFA credentials. That's real business value, and that's exactly what employers are looking for. How to learn it. Start with PowerShell basics, variables, loops, functions, and Active Directory commands. Then build a small IAM-related projects. Document them on LinkedIn and add them to your resume. Talk about them during interviews. Trust me, interviewers love hearing about real projects. Here's a few bonus tips for those who've watched this far into the video. Here's a mistake I see all the time. People collect certifications before they develop skills. A certification can help your resume get noticed, but skills get you hired. If I had to start over today, I would spend 40% learning IAM concepts, 40% of my time building IAM projects, and 20% earning certifications. Because when interviews start, nobody cares how many videos you watched. They care whether you can solve problems. If you're trying to break into IAM and focus on these 3 skills, number 1, identity lifecycle management, number 2, access management and authentication, and number 3, automation with PowerShell. Master these 3 areas and you'll be ahead of most entry-level IAM candidates. Drop a comment below and let me know what IAM role you're targeting: IAM analyst, engineer, maybe an IAGA engineer, or a PAM engineer. If you want more cybersecurity and IAM related content that helps people land real jobs, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that description to join the Discord down in the link below. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.